Hey, I sang Old Town Road to open the show last night.
Sorry, I missed that. What's going on, everybody? We are live Sunday, June, right? Yeah, June 2nd. Yeah, I'm not going to be great today. Apologies if I'm not making a ton of sense. Yesterday was a bit of a celebratory affair. Liverpool took down the Champions League, and I don't remember much of that. But I know that I'm happy about it, and I know that I am here to talk baseball. 9 games on the DK slate, 7 on FanDuel, all 15 on Yahoo because it's never any different. Emac, how's your weekend?
It's been pretty good. The wife is up in Vermont doing another half marathon. This is, I think, state 37, 36, 37. I'm kind of lost track. So me and the dog hanging out. We've got a list of yard work that we should have done yesterday that we're going to do today. And yeah. That's how my weekend's been going, watching some baseball and having some fun here. We got basketball tonight. We had hockey last night. Good shout out there to the Jay Kari projections that helped me triple up or quadruple up last night. So that was nice.
There you go. You said so she's in Vermont. Is she trying to do one in every state? Is that the goal? Okay.
Yes. So she joined this club a few years ago. It's called 50 Half Marathons in 50 States, plus the District of Columbia. So their thing is once a year they do a big 50 state, or they call themselves the 50 staters. They do meetups and such. And at all these races, especially the more popular ones like the rock and roll half marathons, etc., they'll post on their Facebook page, hey, we're all meeting for dinner at X. So she's met half a dozen women that she's become really good friends with. And usually one of them is at whatever race she's doing because they're all working their way through the 50 states. So my wife just did half marathon 100 a couple weeks ago, and then she's working on states. So you could do them, some people do them in a year, some people do them in a lifetime, some people are on their third time through, etc. So it's kind of go at your own pace, but it's just kind of a running club, but she likes to do it. They travel on the weekends and then go stay at what do you call not Uber, but
Lyft?
No, the cheap houses.
Oh, Airbnb.
So they stay at those, or like we had 6 women come stay with us for the DC marathon every year, and they 2 of them are in Chicago, one's in Tampa, one's in Oregon, one's in Texas, and one's somewhere else. So they all go stay at each other's houses and stuff.
What will be the last state? Do you know? Is it going to be like one of the Dakotas or Idaho? The Idaho 5K, probably not a popular one.
Something along those lines. The Dakotas have not been done. Hawaii has been done. I think Hawaii's been done. And Alaska we're doing Alaska next year. So I have 8 states.
I have 1, North Carolina, and that's only a 5K. It's the only time I've ever run on purpose.
Yeah.
Not much of a runner. I'm trying to be the best at exercising.
All right.
Shout out Kenny Powers.
What? Oh, yes. I thought I recognized that from something. Someone dropped the link here in Slack. We are in the YouTube chat. We have the Spotlight Hitters and Stacks article. Second paragraph there has the link and instructions on how to get your initial Yahoo deposit bonus matched up to $30 in YSRPs. That would be Yahoo Sports Rewards points.
Dang.
Management fee free contest. This guy right here got 8th last night and 7th, 8th, or 9th on Friday. So
that's good.
Nice little run. I got knocked down. Somebody ran 5 identical teams, and they had somebody from St. Louis, and that game was going at 2 a.m. still. They passed me, which made me mad, but I was winning for a while for most of the late games.
I got yelled at on Reddit because of that tournament.
Why?
Because I didn't play it, and since I wasn't in that contest, I am unqualified to be able to tell people that they should play it. That was the base.
Did they scroll through the entire list to see if you're?
No, they were. I mean, they're right. I was not in that contest, but that doesn't make the information less true. Everyone should be getting in that contest if they want to play. There's no management fee. But yeah, I got yelled at on Reddit. It wasn't nice.
I wouldn't even know how to get to Reddit.
You're not missing anything.
Yeah. I assume it's like 4chan and there's like viruses and stuff. So
no, it's way more organized than that. All right, you ready to talk some baseball?
Let's talk some baseball. We've got enough of the crew has assembled. Let's get it going here.
We do have quite the crew. So yeah, 9 games on DraftKings, 7 on FanDuel. FanDuel leaving out the 2 biggest offensive explosion games today: Rangers Royals and Rockies Jays. So this is a live before lock show. We got a little bit of a different structure. We don't need to roll through everything. So let's take a big. Jake in chat says that Reddit thread made my head hurt. Yeah, it made my head hurt too. Let's just talk holistically about this slate. Pitching is blowing my mind. We've got we'll talk DK to start, since that'll cover everybody. 4 guys above 10K. Max Scherzer 11-6 makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
Luke Giolito 11-1, and I was just like, Luke Giolito is 11-1 today. He's been fantastic this season. A completely different guy. Finally, just mowing people down. But I got a little bit of sticker shock when I saw that. 10-8 for Matt Boyd, 10-3 for Jake Odorizzi. What's happening today? What's going on this Sunday? There's people priced where they're not normally priced.
Yeah, this is it. It's very, very weird. Enough so that I just said, as I told you before the show, I'm in the rake free tournament over there, or the management fee free tournament on Yahoo. I punted. I said, you know what? I know I'm going to play Richards there. I'm probably playing Giolito because he's 45 there, as opposed to Scherzer, who's 59. Yeah. And I'm going to play some people in Texas at Coors Field. So I'm just locking in players from 3 o'clock on, and I'll come back to that one.
Sure.
I started trying to play around with DK, and then I also saw a little news blurb there on Twitter that NASCAR is starting early today. They had some weather issues, so that lock is going to be 150 unless they move it up again, which they tend to do from time to time. So if you haven't put your placeholders lineups in, at least get one there. And then I moseyed my way on over here to DraftKings and said, I don't know what I'm going to do with pitching. I literally don't know what I'm going to do with pitching. So today it's going to be, thank you, Fantasy Cruncher and projections, because I literally was like, oh, well, I'll go with this. Oh, I'll do that. And it's like, you can't. And all of a sudden I'm looking at Adrian Sampson, who is priced at where he's higher than he ever has been.
69.
Oh, nice. But it's an absolute disaster from which is good for us, because this is going to be difficult for everybody. But it's one of those that totally caught me off guard. So let me get over here and look. We got the little projections uploaded here, and let me get some pricing. So we've got Jake Odorizzi is interesting, but he's 10,300. So you kind of have to throw, these guys are too expensive. These guys are overpriced out the window today. Yeah. It's just, I mean, most of these DK guys have gone up between 1,000 and 2,000 from their last starts, which is crazy. So Ryan Yarborough, 8,300. He should be starting. He's back in the majors. I think he did 1 or 2 starts down in the minors. He probably won't have an opener today. No. He's someone that's sort of interesting, but he's playing Minnesota. So I'm all the way down to Gabriel Ynoa and looking at his minor league numbers. And I wrote up that if you're ever going to play the Giants, today's the day. But now I'm looking at Ynoa as a pitcher potential because he's cheap enough. You've got Plesac, nephew of Dan Plesac, who's also cheap, but those 2 guys might make it into the 5th inning to qualify for the win. He went, I think, 80 or 85 pitches in his last start, so he's fully stretched out, but he's been in the minors for 10 years. He's 26, Josh, and he's been in the minors for 10 seasons. So yeah, he started when he was 17 with the Mets.
That's insane.
But in that time, I mean, he's had some injuries and stuff like that, but he's only has 70 or so major league innings. 2016 with the Mets, 17 with Baltimore, and then this year with Baltimore. So you're looking at that and you're like, well, his strikeout numbers were okay. They were 20-25% in the minors, but why hasn't he come up, et cetera? And this is the guy I want to trust.
Right.
So trust is really not the word you're going to do, because if you say, okay, screw it, I'm going to put Scherzer in because proportionally he's actually a better deal than these other guys, then you're not going to play Coors Field hitters. And it's this vicious cycle where we need the agnostic fantasy cruncher.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was hoping that Zach Plesac would not be as owned as we are projecting, but right now he has 31% expected ownership. He Julio Teheran and Max Scherzer are the three pitchers that are above 30% on DK today. What do we have? Where do we have him on Yahoo? Yeah, okay, so Plesac 17 there. I'm even a little bit interested in him as a pay down option on FanDuel at 5,900. I think I'm a believer in Zach Plesac, but apparently so is the public, at least on DK. For 5K, I mean, you're getting a lot better of. I think you're getting a lot better of a pitcher than you normally are.
I can't. The crazy thing is, if you look at the popularity here, you got Scherzer at 33% on DK, Giolito at 6. I mean, don't we want to go with Giolito in this case and hope that things have so he changed his arm slot or windup or something. I was reading something that one of his old pitching coaches mentioned something to him that, do this and do this. And it's sort of changed what he's doing with regards to is a shorter delivery, I think is the easiest way to say it.
He's got a 29% K rate this year. Previous high in his entire career was 19%.
Yeah, it's out of control. He and Ronaldo Lopez were kind of like, yeah, and now he's good, and Ronaldo Lopez is still, yeah. So I guess this is happening because he had the pedigree. He came over with both those guys came over from the Nationals in the Adam Eaton trade 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And they were highly regarded prospects in the Nationals organization. So I mean, I guess it shouldn't be a surprise, but $11,000 when
it's nuts.
Wow.
It's nuts. I mean, last year you could have rostered him on back-to-back days for not 11,000. You know, there were days where he's in like the fives. Or at least that's the way that I remember it because he was so terrible. I don't know what to do with him. I don't know. I can't justify paying 11-1 if Max Scherzer is 11-6. They're just, no matter how good Luke Giolito is this year, he's still not Max Scherzer. Or maybe he is. I don't know. 375 Sierra this year. You know, he's not getting hit hard. Nothing stands out to me. Like, you know, he's got a slightly better than average BABIP, but nothing that makes me think it's going to come like dramatically different. Like, and he's going to like regress. 29% K rate. He's just mowing people down. At some point in time, I think I need to believe it, but I don't think today is going to be that day. I would rather go to Boyd. I'd probably go Giolito over Odorizzi, but I would rather have Boyd. And ultimately, I'm just going to have a lot of Max because he's, I think, pretty clearly the best pitcher on this slate.
He has just been phenomenal. Some of his, I mean, his strikeout numbers are crazy, but he's, you know, still has the high hard hit percentage, and he's been getting his pitches, but he's not been going deep into the games. He's only gone into the seventh inning in 3 of his last 9 starts, and the others were in the 6th inning. And it's his pitch count has been, you know, pretty solid and up there. But yikes!
Taking a look at our projections, Alex not a huge fan of Matt Boyd today, so maybe I'm going to get a little bit less than I thought I would. Liking Giolito and Odorizzi both more so than Boyd. By like 1.5 points, so something to keep an eye on. What are your thoughts? This is not a guy that I normally get to. He doesn't even have like a really great price, but what do you think of Julio Teheran today against the Tigers? Kind of tailor-made lineup for him.
Yeah, and I understand where the popularity is coming with him. What's the temperature in Atlanta today? Atlanta is going to be close to 90 degrees at first pitch. How many lefties is he facing? 2. Yeah. 2. That's pretty favorable for Teheran. He does allow a little higher than normal power to righties, but I mean, Brandon Dixon's batting cleanup today. So yeah, that's not overly scary. They don't have Miggy in the lineup. Not that he's a power threat with his 2 home runs on the season, but yeah. Boyd's the third lefty that's going to be bad. I'm assuming he bats lefty. Yeah, I think Teheran's going to be in the mix. So what I've done is I've gone in and I'm setting most pitchers at 25%, with the exception of Plesac that I've gone up to 40. And then, and by most, I mean Scherzer, Giolito, Odorizzi, Teheran, Gray, Boyd. Those are the guys I've got at 25%. I've got Inoa at 25%, and then everybody else is at 5 or 10. So I'm going to see what happens when I crunch there. This is more about mixing and matching. I've bumped up the Inoa and Plesac just because I want to get some hitters in those 3 o'clock games on DK. So we'll see what comes out of the crunches when I run those.
Yeah, I'm anxious. We still need, 2 more lineups? Royals and Blue Jays?
Yes.
Obviously, both of those are not important at all to anybody playing on FanDuel. FanDuel peeps have all 7 games locked and loaded. But not getting... I mean, those Royals and Blue Jays lineups are going to be mighty important considering we have monster totals on those games. Last I looked, 11 for the Royals and Rangers and 12. Oh, well, we are getting spam botted like crazy right now. 12.5 total in Colorado today. Nuts. What is that total if it's even hotter in the future? I don't think that line has moved yet, right? Is it still at 12.5? Wow, I cannot stop these bots from like.
No, they're all over the place. I'm jumping in here too. So
I needed a hand there. It's been like 8 different things so far. That's not fun. We must be popular.
I guess. Hey, there's over 600 people watching. So there you go.
Are there really? Kudos to everybody being here. Oh my God, there's another one. We're gonna need to hire someone just to control this spam bot. Starting to think that maybe I shouldn't have talked any smack about the Reddit peeps.
Oh, yeah, this is definitely a coordinated attack. I've never seen him come in under this many names.
I've never seen this at all. Makes me think that 600 something users isn't correct. 60 of them are bots. Okay, so let's we touched on pitching a little bit. Anybody that you think is sort of like a sleeper for today?
Yes. So let's back away a little bit from pricing. Sonny Gray, I think, is an intriguing matchup there against the Nationals. They do have a higher strikeout rate, and he's been really, really good as opposed to his pitching in Yankee Stadium. So I think he's intriguing. I'm talking myself, as I mentioned, into Yanoa, but Brad Keller is somebody else. He just doesn't allow power. So if you're going with him, and I'm hoping I'll get about 10% of him because he's like 0 owned on DK, that it just gives a little bit of flexibility. And I'm hoping he makes it in 5 innings, gives up 3 earned runs, and then the bullpen can get their ass kicked for all I care. But I just need him to be okay at that price point, and will survive. So this is one of those, if you can get one of those 3 really cheap guys and get you 8 to 11 DK points, that'll be fine. You just got to get some home runs, and you'll be good on. Let me go over here to Yahoo because I wanted to call out a few guys there.
Okay.
This is a little bit more intriguing here. So Scherzer massively above the field at 59, Garrett Cole at 56, and then you're at Matt Boyd, Teheran, Lucas Giolito, Rich Hill, Strom, Odorizzi. Those guys are all $40 or $44. So if we're looking at these guys here, I would definitely give Boyd some consideration. I don't think I'm going to get all the way to Scherzer. I didn't like the way it was looking. But Lucas Giolito is currently locked into 9 of my 10 lineups, and he will be a guy I'm rolling with. You do get that San Diego game. So there's 2 late games tonight. There's the ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, and then there's also San Diego's got a 6 o'clock game. So you've got Matt Strom going against Trevor Richards. So right now I've got a Lucas Giolito, Trevor Richards combination. Moving down the list a little bit on Yahoo, you also have at $33 Chris Bassett. So these are the guys I want to go to. People that are playing over there on Yahoo that are just coming into it and have been looking at main slate analysis. They're not going to know that those guys are all in good spots. Meaning, the 2 guys in San Diego and Miami, but also Bassett. Not a household name with Bassett. This is a massively watered down lineup for the Astros. So at that price point, I really like him just because it presents some savings. And he's someone I think could go 6 or 7 innings give up a few runs, definitely be in line for a quality start. And again, even if we just go based off of what last night's lineup was, the three guys at the bottom are just, they're not good at all for the Astros, which makes sense because they're missing, Springer, Altuve, Correa, even Aledmys Diaz. So
yeah, they're down a bunch of bodies, a bunch of good bodies too.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, Marwin Gonzalez. That's whose name I couldn't remember last night. Yes, he's with Minnesota, but Aledmys Diaz is the new Marwin Gonzalez.
Speaking of people that are on different teams, Jay Bruce traded today to the Philadelphia Phillies.
Really? What did the Mariners get?
I don't know, a bag of balls probably.
Probably, but why? What's Philly going to do with him?
Philly down a guy for something not great. Who got popped for some sort of domestic dispute, wasn't it?
Yeah. Was it Herrera?
I think so. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, Jay Bruce will be the new Odubel Herrera, I think.
All right.
So yeah, that'll be fun. I stack the Phillies pretty regularly, so that's a fun extra bat for me. Nice little lefty power.
They do need another lefty.
Yeah, they really do. They're very heavy to the right. If you get you go Harper, Reese, Jay Bruce, that's a fun little trio there for power. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, I assume they didn't get anything for Jay Bruce. I haven't seen any notes on the trade, but I can't imagine. That's funny. If you type in Jay Bruce, the first thing that pops up is a sponsored ad from baseball saying that Jay Bruce is a candidate for the MLB All-Star Game and you can vote for him. Don't think Jay Bruce is going to be representing the Mariners anytime soon.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So we just got a question from Makad in Premium Slack. Is Senzatella worth looking at on DK?
God, no.
Ooh, I disagree.
Okay, let's break it down.
Well, okay.
I think he's gonna.
Let me be more specific.
Practice. Yeah, he's a batting practice type pitcher. If you're going cheap, I would rather roll the dice with Keller or Inoa. From that standpoint, I think taking some chances on those cheap guys is definitely something we need to do.
Yeah,
I just don't want it to be the guy in Coors Field.
Yeah, so I would.
Yeah, I'm going with the guy in Texas. So what do I know?
I would much rather have Zach Plesac. Let's be clear here, but yes. I'm gonna get a little bit of Senzatella just because he's 4,400. Like you really, at 4,400, you just need these guys to not die. Honestly, I anticipate having a couple shares. It's not great, a 5.7 run implied total for the Jays in Coors today is not really the spot that you're trying to jam in Senzatella, but he's 4,400. Much like, Nolan Arenado and David Dahl and these guys get priced up for pitching in Coors. Senzatella got priced down for pitching in Coors, and I'm willing to take a shot at 4,400, but I don't want much at all. The most likely scenario here is that he gets tagged bad because this game has a 12.5 implied total or actual total. That's bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Let's see. El Negro Loco got a question from me too. Recommended cash pitcher on FanDuel. I have a hard time saying anybody other than Max.
That would be just default. Let me open up their pricing list here. Let's see
I think the answer is probably it's either Max, Tehran, or Cole Hamels, and I'd feel a lot more comfortable with Max than I would with anybody else.
I would go with Max, and I wouldn't even think twice.
Yeah,
because the quality start is big. And it still seems like people, when they play on Yahoo, don't account for the quality start. They're more worried about wins and stuff like that. It's like, the quality start's a huge number of points there.
It is. Yeah. There we go. 3 more spam bots. They're moving too fast. They're moving too fast. I can't click them fast enough. They got us. I can't save it. We're dead. There's too many of them. Oh my God. We've made it. This is brutal.
I've never seen anything quite like this.
I mean, we are getting clobbered. I assume that it's this is coming directly from Reddit. I have to imagine. Whew. Oh my god. It won't stop. It won't stop.
Oh.
Sorry, everybody, for this. If you're in chat right now, this is probably a really awful experience. We're just getting clobbered. I'm not even going to try to stop it any longer. It's never stopping. Maybe I just need to get into that Yahoo tournament so that people will stop yelling at me. You know?
Yeah, I think that's. Now I want to go. Now I want to go read this thread.
Let's see what else we got here. Best high upside stack on FanDuel. That's a fun question. I would say, I mean, my answer is pretty much the Brewers always, so I'll go with the Brewers. What's your favorite high upside stack today on FanDuel?
On FanDuel.
And then in 4 minutes, we'll do dong picks.
Okay. I am going to actually say I really like Baltimore going against Jeff Samardzija. Samardzija has, let's see, over his last, since he started with the Giants, this is his 4th season with them. He has an ERA at home that's a tiny bit below 4 and an ERA on the road that's like almost 4.9. He's allowed 51 home runs on the road, 19 at home. So he is just an entirely different pitcher when he's on the road. I like where the Orioles are priced, with the exception of on DraftKings, where they are priced up. But they are the one early stack I did make for Yahoo.
Okay. Orioles right now, second
and
highest ownership.
I know we were talking FanDuel there, but the savings you can use, you can get some good upside single hitters, and you can also work in a Scherzer Baltimore stack on FanDuel.
Yeah. Orioles right now, second highest ownership projections on the entire FanDuel slate.
Really?
Yeah. Just behind the Giants.
I'm finding this amazing information.
No Rangers, no Royals, no Rockies, no Jays. So they're climbing to the top of FanDuel pretty quickly.
Is this coming from the Osmo stacking tool?
Sort of. It's coming directly from the ownership table, but yeah, that's same information that populates the stack tool, which is a very key piece of what I do on a day-to-day basis. If it wasn't for that, I mean, it's kind of my base for making adjustments to see if I need to push up any teams. First thing I do is go see who's undervalued relative to their ownership. It's fantastic. I think it's free today, actually.
Oh. Okay, free is good.
I could be wrong. Let me double check it. I'm pretty sure that it's free. And if it is, everyone should be checking it out. Osmo's top stacks. Maybe it's not.
But it could be 50% off if you use the promo code MLB Strategy.
Or live before lock. One big word.
One word. Yeah.
I actually have the MLB Strategy overlay on here right now. I didn't realize I didn't have a live before lock for the two of us, and it was 11:58 when I came to that conclusion. So close enough. Close enough.
That's okay. I was singing Old Town Road when I realized Jake and I don't have one for live before lock at night with the Yahoo one. So we'll have to get that rectified too. Although he and I don't do a show for 2 weeks. But.
Wait, what don't you have?
Oh, I don't have an overlay with the Yahoo live before lock.
You shouldn't.
Oh, okay.
They don't sponsor live before lock.
I don't have a live before lock. All I have is a DFS strategy show with me and James.
I can handle that. On-air production meeting. So here's what we're doing right now. It is the halfway point of this show. And at the halfway point of live before lock, we give dong picks. I made some updates to the dong pick sheet yesterday. I'm pretty proud of that. Tracking them a little bit better now. Wow, I didn't. So if you type in dong, dong is Vietnamese currency. Did you know that?
I thought it was.
I mean, I'm probably like, it might not be pronounced as dong, but I typed in dong and it immediately came up and said that one Vietnamese dong is worth 0.000043 US dollars.
Interesting. I thought it was bot, but I think that like BAHT, but I think that must be Thailand's.
Yeah, I don't know anything about currency other than apparently Vietnam has dong. So here is the current standings for. Okay, you got one on Friday night, right? Did Matt Adams homer?
I don't remember, but I got one last night with Goldie.
That one is updated right now, so I want to make sure that I give the correct totals.
2 days ago, I had Matt Adams, and he got one.
He did get one.
Yeah, Friday I didn't have Adams. I picked.
Who had Adams then? Oh, Chris had Matt Adams.
Chris had Adams because I got mad because
did you get?
He's taking my strategy of picking the fat first baseman. So.
I had Mookie Betts. That didn't work. I'm assuming Matt Adams did not hit one.
Yeah, I had Yonder Alonso 2 for 4, 2 singles.
Okay, I'm assuming Jake Bowers didn't hit one.
No, he did not.
And I'm assuming Ohtani didn't get one for Jake last night.
He did not.
Okay, so here are the counts right now for Diddy Dong. You are destroying everyone with 12. I have 9. Jake has 9. Jake has 4 since May 24th. He was getting clobbered. Now has 9. Jake actually has more correct days picked. So Jake has gotten a home run pick correct 9 times. I've only done it 8, but I did get the only double dong, which is Francisco Lindor. And then Chris bringing up the rear with just 8. You have hit 36% of your dong picks. You are 12 for 33 right now.
Nice.
I am 8 for 34, 24%. Jake is 9 for 42, 21%. Chris, 8 for 38, also 21%. So by every single metric, EMAC, you are stomping us out. But it's a long season. We got plenty of time to catch up. Royals lineup is now out, but would you like me to go first, or do you want the full ability to make the pick?
You can go ahead.
Okie dokie.
I already have my pick, so.
Oh, well then go ahead. Make sure I don't get it.
Okay.
Who you got?
We're skipping the 4 o'clock games, or the 3 o'clock games, I think, just to be fair.
Sure.
And normally I don't take the high end guys, but I'm going with Anthony Rizzo today against Adam Wainwright.
I like it. Anthony Rizzo, 13th in the home run model.
There you go.
So I'm going to go ahead and add that onto the sheet here.
That reminds me of one time I was having ink done. I asked for a 13 and they drew a 31. The Offspring, underrated.
It was taking me a while to get to it. I knew it was my first thought was Good Charlotte. I knew the era. I knew the era that I needed to get to in my head, but as I mentioned leading off this show, yesterday was a bit of a long day, and all the wiring up here, it's a little shoddy today. So Anthony Rizzo, okay. I don't really like any part of this, but let me filter it quickly to get those 3 o'clock games out. That way I can eyeball this a little bit better. Oh, man, I do not like some of the names at the top of this list. I don't... So the pick that I'm like thinking about making is not a pick that I would normally make. But maybe I need to just get a little different. I'm going to go against a pitcher that I'm going to have quite a bit of, which is not a great idea. But my dong pick today, Eloy Jimenez.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't like it already. So maybe it'll go well. Jake was in chat earlier. I wonder if we're going to get a dong pick out of him. I'm confident that Chris isn't around. Anybody taken Eloy Jimenez yet? Nope.
No, I haven't.
That is my first. That is the first Eloy. So I'll get the Eloy dong today, and get myself to 2 dongs back of you if I get one here. Maybe we'll get the triple dong out of Eloy.
Oh, Earl Fountain says Emac is a Sir Mix-a-Lot guy. Yes, I really liked Sir Mix-a-Lot. So I grew up in Washington State, and he was at the apex of his powers in Seattle, and I went to college. So when I was in college was when the album Swass came out. Fantastic album. And you would see him every now and then if you were just in Seattle at that, like the Sonics game or whatever. He'd be there. He was pretty accessible guy. It was kind of fun. But yeah, Sir Mix-a-Lot.
I liked him before he got knighted.
He's a knight?
Well, I was a big Mix-a-Lot guy. I don't like him as Sir Mix-a-lot. That's a terrible joke.
There you go.
That's a terrible joke. Whew, real bad.
Called strike on Emac there.
That was like
that
was like the first pitch that Wild Thing throws in Major League. I broke that sign behind the plate. 20 Rick says, still can't believe Josh is 6'5". Unreal. This guy has it all. Josh is not 6'5". 6'2".
Also not 5'6".
Yeah, I'm 6'2". I'm 6'2". So, but he told me that I look thinner with this money wallpaper behind me, so that's fine. Just need to walk around with money behind me, and I'll be lean and mean, I guess. I think it's time to talk about some bats. We have top-owned stacks on DraftKings right now: Royals, Blue Jays, Rockies. I don't get the sense that anybody is terribly shocked by that. A lot of ownership coming in for some of these monster total games. Is there a team other than the Orioles, which you've already mentioned, that stands out to you on DK? Anybody you're looking to get a bit of?
Well, let's see. I went in. Oh, we got the Toronto lineup.
Oh, did we? So we're good to go now. Royals in, Blue Jays in. All lineups for the main slate have been announced.
All right, so I'll give you my stack percentages here. Now I do things a little differently than Josh and Adam and Jake and Alex and everybody here. I probably have a more, shall we just say, traditional, I guess, approach to Fantasy Cruncher. So what I do when I go in and set my team stacks, I put everybody at 5 for starters, and then I go in and adjust up the teams I want more of. So the teams I want more of, I've got Toronto and Colorado at 20% each. I've got Kansas City and Texas at 10% each. I've got Baltimore at 10. And who's my other team there? That looks like it's it today. So I'll hit crunch and see what comes out. But I'm trying to go heavier on those later games. So oftentimes I'll have, let me rephrase that. The other reason I do it is I set everybody really low. It's easier to go low and work your way up than it is to put everybody at like 10%. And then you're either getting stacks you don't want, or it's people in those stacks that you don't want, because more often than not, Fantasy Cruncher and any optimizer tries to put the pitchers in first.
Yeah.
So that's just sort of my way around it. I also go in and cap all my pitchers somewhat similarly. So like I'd mentioned earlier, I usually put everybody, depending on the size of the slate, I'll put everybody in at 5 or 10, and then I'll put in the guys I want while looking at the projected popularity of them, and I'll decide if I want to go above or below the field with them. So that's kind of how I approach it. And then I run a third of my lineups 4-4, a third 5-3, and a third 5-0 on DK.
Yeah, I've been running 5-3, 5-2, 5 blank, and then I've been running 4-4s recently too on DK. Something that I hadn't done for a while, but that's become another piece of like the big crunch. So I end up with 500 lineups crunched out by the time I start sorting. My throat is not producing sound the way that it normally does. Glad. I think it's probably good that I didn't get to finish off that pizza last night. It's probably better for me. I was telling Emac, and I mentioned it in our premium Slack, but I was telling Emac before we started. I had a few cocktails yesterday to celebrate Liverpool's win, and got home around 8:00. Tossed the pizza in the oven and went to bed. Burned that thing to a crisp. Never even took it out. Just found it this morning. Burned up. Guess the wife got it out of there. But don't do that. If you're looking for any real life advice, don't put a pizza in the oven and pass out. Highly, highly dangerous, I think. Don't do it. I am waiting on our final ownership update, and then I'm going to run some crunches. Trying to see if I'm eyeballing it right now, just taking a look at the Awesemo projections and sort of where the ownership is coming in. I have a sneaky suspicion that I am going to be fading Julio Teheran and loading up on some Tigers bats. So I'd love to get some thoughts on how crazy I am. What do you think of Tigers bats against the chalky Julio Teheran?
Let me refresh this and go look and see specifically how they match up against him. Let's see. Atlanta, we said it was going to be 90 degrees there. Teheran, since the beginning of last season, has faced 1,000 batters, basically exactly split between lefties and righties, allowing a 150 ISO to lefties and a 180 ISO to righties. So kind of as I mentioned, he does give up more power a little bit to righties, but he is it's the lefties that you really want to go against him because he does not strike them out. And he has over those last 500 batters, nearly a 17% walk rate to lefties. So you're getting guys on base, which is key for your stacks. If we look at the guys that are have a good walk rate for the Tigers, that would be pretty much none of them.
Yeah.
Goodrum and Stewart are the better ones. Stewart at 12% in his last 180 at bats. Goodrum at 9% in his last 500 matchups or plate appearances against righties. I mean, the top four guys are not like the worst you could do.
No, I mean, I think Kristen Stewart for 3,200 on DraftKings today is one of the better plays of the day. We know Teheran struggles against lefties. Stewart's got power. Atlanta's Park isn't really great for home runs, but it's better for lefties than it is for righties. Checks off a couple boxes. 14% ownership is there as well. But yeah, I have a sneaky suspicion that I'm going to end up on more Tigers than I would have thought to start the day.
I have 10% Tiger stacks with my 4-4s. I have 25% Teheran because all those guys I capped, they're all hitting their cap. So please stacks at 40, Teheran 25, Scherzer, Gray, Odorizzi, those guys are all at 25. I'm not getting any Noah, so I'm going to have to go manually give him a little boost. I've got his let's see. This is another trick I do is if I want somebody, I'll go in and I'll up their projections.
Do you use the thumbs ups?
I do, but in this for hitters, I do. But in this case, I'm actually going to just go in. So we're projecting him at 7.5 points. I'm going to put him in at 11, but I'm now going to cap. I was ready to get in 25%. I'm now going to cap him at 10.
Okay.
And that's kind of how I, as doing this on air and trying to figure it out and all of that. That's one of the things I've done as a little trick that helps save some time.
Nice. I'm sure people appreciate getting, little bits like that. Oh man, voice is struggling. I should have drank some tea instead of trying to jam that burnt pizza down my throat. Anything coming? Wow, now my voice is just breaking. Anything coming up in your crunches that you're surprised by?
I'm running it right now. Let's see. No, I'm capping out at. So I'm doing 4-4s. So that means there's 2 stacks per team. So these are basically kind of doubled.
Yeah.
But 40% Coors, 40 both sides, 20% both sides in Texas, and then everybody else is at 10. I'm happy that I'm getting 10% San Fran. I'm a little surprised I'm getting 10% Cleveland. And then I've got a handful of teams down here at 1. So this is 1 to 3%. So this is what I like to do. I'm totally comfortable with that. I've got a nice little mix here of kind of the mid-tier ones. And a lot of times those end up being parts of the if you have a good lineup. And I like this phrase that you have used before. So I'm crediting you now that I'm saying it on a show with you. Breaking away from the pack. Or from the rest of your guys, because we make enough lineups, you can, especially in baseball, get some nice combinations of stuff here. So even though, like yesterday, randomly, the Brewers and Pirates were 2 of my lower owned stacks, those teams all did incredibly well because it was
20 plus runs scored in an extra inning game. But that's why I try to make sure I've got just a few smatterings of some of these other ones. So I'm okay having, 3 of my 100 lineups going against Scherzer. I'm okay have, stuff like that where it's like, I'll go in and look and see who it is. But it gives you that nice diversification that we're looking for, which is incredibly important for baseball. You can't stress that enough. And one of the neat things we have over here on the site, and I'll drop the link here. If you go over to the Osmo.com website, up in the upper left, there's a Learn DFS tab. These are evergreen articles that are written by Alex Baker, you know him as Osmo, that he talks about game selection, strategy, diversification, approaching different things. And I go back and read these every couple months just because I find something new, or I've tried something different, and now something that didn't make sense to me before clicks, and I say, oh, if I apply it in this fashion, now I understand what he was talking about as I've evolved how I'm playing DFS these days.
Speaking of those articles, there might be some accompanying videos coming out in relationship to those articles in the near future, so keep an eye on that. I am about to run my crunches, and I'm pretty excited. Ownership just pushed out an update, so thanks to Tom or Eddie or Alex, whoever just ran that. Much obliged on that one. Now I can figure out where I'm going to end up, which, I mean, there's something really satisfying about running a crunch. I love loading all my lineups in and figuring out what's going on. I don't know what it is, but it's by far my favorite part of this.
Ooh, I just remembered. Oh, that's not till 1:35. I've got some tiers lineups apparently I entered last week.
Don't you just love when contests just sneak up on you?
Yeah, it seemed like a good idea.
You registered, you get in everything the night before?
Yeah, well, usually when I'm writing the Spotlight Hitters and Stacks article, I just go in and register for all the slates and go from there. And as it comes closer to actual lock time, I'll as they spawn more contests, I'll jump in more of them. But I play in the lower dollar stuff and the leagues, not the big giant ones that feel close to lock. So these are 100, 257 man, 380 people. That's where I like to play. Because when you have a 1% lineup there, it really is a 1% lineup, and you can finish top 5 or better. When you have a 1% lineup in the giant contest, you might get 3 or 4x.
Yeah,
that's it. So,
I don't play enough in leagues. I was just going back through when I was trying to put the hurt on that Reddit clown. I went back through and was looking at some of my ROI on different contest types and saw that I've done really well in leagues, and I never make it a priority to go back and get in them constantly. I don't know why. I just don't. And that's probably a major hole in my game. And I know that I can fix it, and for some reason, just don't. It's not smart. But yeah, they're great structures. Actually, how am I doing? Let me look at it while we're on the show. I want to see how well it's been good since last year from what I remember. So let's go to March 2018 and general sport MLB.
While you're looking for that, I've gotten really in on DK. I like playing the boosters where you get 10x or 20x. Those have been fun as well because if you're a lot of times they're 300 or so person contests, and you can really get a leg up on people because they don't treat them the same as they don't play aggressive in them.
My ROI in leagues is higher than it is in any other contest type. So kudos to me for being a moron.
There you are. Hey, you know what? We've got a contest here. We've got the over on the Osmo account. Mm-hmm. We've got a NBA Finals contest. So this is to let's see. The giveaway is to win 3 months of all access if you guess the closest number of total points that the Raptors will score in Game 2. Now, anybody who's tied in this, you'll go into a drawing. So don't pick what you think is going to be the correct score, and don't be like the fools that are saying 240, 190, because they're not reading the instructions and they're giving the game total as opposed to just the Raptors. So you're going to already be ahead of about a third of the people that have answered.
Yeah, I'm seeing a bunch of them in the 200. Man, there's going to be some egg on your face later today when that game goes to 12 overtimes.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take it. But that's out there. And then if you go, I'll drop mine in as well. My pin tweet. We're doing I think the contest may have filled. I'm only going to make them 40 or 50. So you're going to want to go over here, look at the pin tweet on my account, join that DK league, the Osmo DK league, because that's where I'm posting the contests for DraftKings. And if you win and you have an Osmo avatar, you get 1 free month of premium content. So that is not a bad deal. It's $1. Today there were 40. We filled up quick. We can't seem to fill 100. We don't fill 50, but 40 fills quick, and then people bitch at me to make it bigger, and then it doesn't fill, and then everybody's mad because it doesn't run if it doesn't fill. So I'm keeping them small. So definitely join this DK league. And at tip off, I'll post the game 3s. One here, but all you gotta do is just have the Osmo avatar, and if you win, send a screenshot with the avatar to the Osmo account, tag me, we'll get you 1 free month of premium. And there's only a handful more of games that we're doing for this, but we'll probably start doing something for baseball as well. Like me having to stack Baltimore or something like that. But it's just $1, normal payout, all that fun stuff for DK.
Yeah, I'm on the screen right now. I'm on the Osmo Twitter account. That's at Osmo_com, pin tweet explaining the potential to get a 3-month winning of, oh my God, I can't even talk. You win 3 months of all access by trying to guess the total points that the Raptors score. Not everybody, the Raptors.
But Sean V, you need to get in that, because if you just had constant direct access to Josh, I mean, both of your lives would just be immeasurably improved.
Yeah, if Sean V wins, I'm going to go ahead and accidentally delete that subscription. And the tweet, and all evidence that anything ever happened.
Oh, there will be a Reddit thread about that, I can bet.
That wouldn't shock me at all. Like, I made 10 separate... They're not on there anymore, I don't think. You made 10 memes about me, too. It was fun. I love it. I love it so much. My crunch is done. I'm refreshing my sheet right now. We're about to see... Well, what kind of ridiculous stand I'm about to take on someone. Looks like I'm going to have a ton of Max Scherzer. And if anybody's been paying attention to these shows over the last, couple weeks, anytime that I am playing a slate that starts in the early afternoon, I end up on a pitcher for some reason, in the 70 to 80% range. And that guy goes ahead and gets absolutely shellacked. So if you think that is a common outcome for me, then today is your lucky day, because I'm going to have a lot of Max Scherzer, and that's lining him up to get absolutely waylaid. Can't wait. Can't wait at all. Crunch is in. Lineups are sorted. You ready for exposures?
Hit him.
Any guesses as to what I've got Max Scherzer at right now? 150 lineups.
You have him on 90.
We'll round up and we'll give it to you. 89% Max Scherzer today. 11% to Julio Teheran, 32% Cole Hamels, 27% Zach Plesac, and, as I mentioned earlier today, 14% Antonio Senzatella. Top hitting exposures: Indians, Tigers, Blue Jays, and Rockies. So yeah, the Julio Teheran fade is in full effect. I am double the field on the Tigers today. I think I'm cool with everything that I'm seeing here.
Did you get any Aaron Sanchez?
I did not. He is one of 5 pitchers that got 0 exposure. Do you have any guesses as to the other 4? That could be a fun game.
Let me call up the sheet. It would be Giolito.
That is not correct.
Jordan Lyles.
That is 1. So I do not have Jordan Lyles. I do not have Aaron Sanchez. 3 more.
Keller.
I don't have any Keller.
Adrian Sampson.
I do not have Sampson.
Did I get all of them?
Keller, Sanchez, Sampson, Lyles. No, you're missing one.
Wainwright?
I do have Wainwright, 4%. I don't think you're going to get this one.
No, I've guessed too many. Samardzija.
Matt Boyd.
Really?
Yeah. Zilch. 0 Boyd. I mean, that's sort of what's going to happen when you have 89% Max Scherzer. There's only so many other places you can go.
True.
So there's that. I'm a little nervous about that. So, public, don't be afraid to get some stacks of Reds today, which I have obviously 0 of. What are you doing with Scherzer? Obviously, I can only imagine that you're not coming in at the 89% number like I am today.
No, 25% captain.
Okay. Is that the most you'll have any pitcher?
Today, no. I got Plesac at 40, and I've got Plesac at 40. That's it. Everybody else is 25, 10 or 25.
Okay. Yeah, I really like Plesac today. I wish that I would have gotten to a little bit more because he grades out really well. The problem really for me is that there's just other options. Like I really, really like Cole Hamels today, especially at that $7,700 price tag, and just keeping me away from all of that Plesac. The fact that Plesac is projected for 41% ownership, he's the chalk today.
Yeah.
Did you see that one coming when you woke up this morning?
No, but as soon as you start building lineups on DK, you understand why it's happening.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But that's why I'm okay getting some Noah and Keller, though I did have to artificially boost them so I could get them up to 10%. But that's sort of a pivot away from Plesac for me.
Anybody that you don't have today that you expected to? Either side, from a pitching perspective or from like a hitting perspective.
I have a ton of Randall Grichuk. I was not expecting that. Like, he is my most owned player.
I have 22%.
Yeah, I'm at 40.
I don't think that's crazy at all. Not in that game.
And to be fair, this is coming off my five zeros. But
okay.
he was top 3 or 4 position players in my 4-4s and my 5-3s. So the one team I'm not getting that I'm now I save like an extra 15 or 20 lineups to make little stacks of teams that I think I should have some of. So that is going to be reserved. I didn't get much Baltimore, and I really wanted Baltimore today.
Interesting. Yeah, I do not have much Baltimore. Biggest teams that I'm over the field on, Indians and Tigers. A little bit over the field on the Cubs, but I'm kind of happy with this. I have a lot of Indians. That is a staggering amount. Let's take a look at that and dig in. Just running face first into Luke Giolito here. Need the Indians to kind of bludgeon that dude, considering I don't really have him pitching wise. But do you have any Indians? What's your what's your Indians exposure right now?
I'm combining a bunch of things here that I screwed up. I've got 10% on the Indians.
Okay, that makes me feel good. That's over the field. We have Carlos Santana projected for 1% ownership. I have slightly more than that.
How much?
I have 16.
Smooth.
I like it. I think I made a Carlos Santana joke to Jake, and it was just like, whew, nothing.
Oi, como va? People don't realize how long Carlos Santana has been around. He played at Woodstock, the first one.
Jeez. Yeah, I didn't really realize that.
Yeah.
Obviously,
that was before my time, even, people.
My experience with Carlos Santana all started with the lovely Rob Thomas of Matchbox 20.
Yep.
Oh, man. So, if anybody has any questions, either drop them into the premium Slack or drop them into YouTube. We've got some time to take a couple questions. Lock is in 5 minutes, so if you don't have your lineups in, what are you waiting for? You do not have a lot of time. 300 seconds. It's quick math. Maybe the brain's getting better. I have had a lot of water today. I think I'm starting to get some hydration back up in the dome piece. Needed it. I have a feeling that Luke Giolito is really gonna take a big dump on my day today.
Hey, at least you'll know about 2:30 how your day's going.
Yeah. What are the times that matter most for me? Okay, so Tigers start at 1:20. That's something I like paying attention to. When do I know that I'm dead? I like to know if I have a fighting chance. But I guess the Blue Jays and the Rockies and the Royals will be the icing on the cake for me. If the Indians or Tigers pop off, then I'll probably be fine as long as one of those main late stacks come through. Oh, any questions? Jeremiah Johnson, do you like a card stack on FanDuel? If I'm being honest, I would say no. I prefer Cole Hamels to the Cardinals. What about you, Emac? What are you feeling about Cardinals on FanDuel specific?
Yeah, I wouldn't get there.
Yeah, I hear you. Uncle DFS in Premium Slack says, so much Giolito. We are on different wavelengths today.
Oh, one of you's going to have fun.
Yeah. I have 1%. I got to 1% Giolito. I probably need to make some manual adjustments to him. He's a different dude right now. But the last time that I made manual adjustments to Luke Giolito was the end of last year after a process show with Adam. And he went out and got shellacked and recorded 4 outs. So I'm not really all that good at making adjustments to Luke Giolito and having them work out in my favor.
All right, here's my breakdown. Please, this is another fun trick. If you have Fantasy Cruncher, after you do your last upload, you can bring everything back into Swaptimizer and go look and see what your ownerships are. So, Plesac 46, Scherzer 26, Taylor on 26, Odorizzi 20, Sonny Gray 14, Giolito 11, Inoa 11, Cole Hamels 7.
Not enough. I have 5 times that.
You have 5 times that for Cole Hamels?
I have 32% Cole Hamels.
Are you hoping that they're a little tuckered out after last night's game?
Yes. I don't. Look, I'm a little nervous about it. The Cardinals are kind of set up perfectly to face Cole Hamels. You know, they've got 7 righties in the lineup. The only lefty is going to be Wong. It's a scary lineup. It really is, and I think the Cardinals are good, but $7,700 Cole Hamels I think is a bit of a bargain. So it's a direction that I'm looking to go. I'm a little nervous about it, and then I have I'm double the field on the Cubs. So Team Chicago, clear across the board. I wonder how much Sonny Gray Adam will be playing today. This is a guy that we have not mentioned at all. I don't think that we've said his name. Do you have any interest in Sonny Gray today?
He is my 5th highest owned pitcher at 14%.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mentioned him up at the beginning when we were talking about the oddball guys, because I said the Nationals tend to strike out a little bit more than they have in the past, without Zimmerman in the lineup and a couple of Michael A. Taylor and some of those guys that aren't regulars anymore. Or let me rephrase that. Zimmerman doesn't strike out a lot. Michael A. Taylor does a ton, but it changes the whole complexion of their lineup when those guys aren't in there. And Harper not in there either. But so they have a lot less power, but not having Dan Murphy and stuff. The other guys that are coming in strike out more collectively.
Got one last question from Chris in YouTube chat. Cheap leadoff outfielder, Schwarber or Gamel? Always Schwarber.
Yeah, always Schwarber.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Ben Gamel has some nice hair.
He does have some nice hair.
I believe he was.
But yeah, Schwarber's my dude. $3,800 on DraftKings leading off. What is he on FanDuel? Probably like 3,200. 34. That was close. A hell of a guess. 1 minute to go. If your lineups aren't in, nope, it's locked. We are locked. There we go. EMAC, any big plans for the rest of your Sunday?
Now I'm going to go build all my late slate lineups, my Yahoo lineups that just locked, and NASCAR, because NASCAR locks at 150, 150. That is earlier because of the weather in Pocono, the Tricky Triangle. So check that one.
The only track I've ever been to.
Really?
Yep.
I've only been to 2. Bristol for a race, and then the Charlotte Motor Speedway for a half marathon.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. It's the only race I've ever seen, Pocono. So shout out to my former state. That's everything, guys. Thanks for joining us on this lovely Sunday. Apologies for my voice, which is lacking a little bit today. We will. Eddie will be back tonight for NBA. We got that game going off at 8 o'clock tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. So Eddie will be on for Live Before Lock, and then tomorrow morning we'll kick it back off again and start the week off right. It'll be Jake and Adam bringing you the strategy show. EMAC, any other plugs?
Check out some of the Awesemo NASCAR content. We do have driver projections, both for scoring as well as for ownership.
There you go.
Go with the Busch brothers today, and don't be afraid of Truex. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the weather, if it's a potentially shortened race, if the rain comes like they're expecting. So that means even less laps and less scoring. So that means less fastest laps and laps led, which means place differential may play a much larger role than it does normally.
There you go. Check out the pinned tweet at awesemo_com on Twitter. You have the chance to win 3 months of all access if you can guess if you can be closest to the Raptors point total tonight. So check that out. Hit the like video. Yeah. Oh my God. I need to stop this. Hit the like button on your way out the door. Subscribe to the channel so you can get alerts when we go live. And best of luck in your Sunday contest, everybody. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.